Hi, I'm Center Sports' Brian Clark. Robert Griffin III has some new hardware. College teams around the country are getting ready for bowl season, but we're still going first and 10 with Sporting News college football writer Matt Hayes. Matt, all season long you've heard the conference on the rise seems to be the Pac-12. What's driving that success?
Brian, 2 decades ago, there was this college football visionary named Roy Kramer, and he decided this fun, fancy, freaky little SEC championship game could develop his little regional conference into this national behemoth. And lo and behold, 2 decades later, here we are, the SEC, bigger and badder than anyone else. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a conference out there, Brian, that can be just as big and just as bad, and that's the Pac-12. Look at the Pac-12 for a second. Would any of us, be honest, have watched a Washington State game this past season? Anybody watch an Arizona game? Anyone? Seriously?
No.
Next year, does anyone watch a Washington State game with Mike Leach coaching? Does anyone watch an Arizona game with Rich Rodriguez coaching? This is what expansion has done for the Pac-12. It has given the conference more money. It has allowed them to pay more for coaches, to get big-name coaches in there, to get guys that can win games, that can recruit, that will create energy, that will create excitement. It's exactly what happened with the SEC once that championship game started to get rolling, and they started to get more big-name coaches, and they started to recruit better. They started to win championships. The Pac-12 is a beast on the rise, Brian.
We'll have to keep tracking that rise. Robert Griffin III, he won the Heisman Saturday night in New York City. Was that the most refreshing college football story in a while?
You know, Brian, at the very least, it's of the past year, because we've just been hit over the head time and time again with lying and cheating and this guy breaking that rule and this coach breaking that rule and this program going on probation and that one maybe on probation. It's just enough to just overwhelm everyone involved in the sport. And all of a sudden we have this guy, Robert Griffin III. He wins the Heisman Trophy, Brian. In an era right now of the Heisman, where really the guy on the number one team, the best guy in the number one team, is usually the guy that wins the Heisman Trophy. And I'm telling you right now, had Stanford beaten Oregon, Andrew Luck wins the Heisman. Had Alabama beat LSU, Trent Richardson wins the Heisman, because that's how it is now. But these convergence of events over the last month of the season allowed everyone to take a second look at Robert Griffin III and allowed a Heisman winner from Baylor, Brian. Sweet Jesus Almighty. Finally, something good has happened in college football.
Robert Griffin III's Heisman win. Now, politically correct society we live in, some of these non-BCS schools, the non-automatic qualifiers, the non-AQs, they don't like their names. They're trying to change it. Are they off base here?
Well, they're not seeing the big picture, Brian, because the guys like Britton Bronowski, the Conference USA commissioner, and commissioners of the other little leagues, they're thinking we don't want that stigma attached to us because it's not good for marketing, it's not good for branding. What they don't realize is it's very good to make money. That stigma, however they want to call it, has allowed them to force the BCS to give them a set of rules where they can access the big money bowls. What they're doing by losing these names that they don't like, Brian, they're basically eliminating themselves from playing in the big bowls. So congratulations, we'll no longer call you non-AQ, we'll just call you losers.
We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. You can catch Matt's First and 10 column every week on sportingnews.com. Thanks, Matt.
All right, Brian.